Hey guys, and welcome to a new video. Today, a small little farming project. Small in terms of how many maps, blueprints, whatever we're gonna run, and big in the amount of investment. Because today we're going to run 10 grand heist blueprints, and this is a very special blueprint. I'm not entirely sure who is the original owner of the blueprint. I think it is Grimro, but in the other hand, it doesn't really matter at all, because this one you can actually split beast. Yeah, split beast. So you just split the contract and you just can produce as many as you want with that, right? As long as they are unconfirmed. So if you want to try this at home, don't get scammed. You know, you cannot imprint or at least split the contract that has a red dot, because this means it's confirmed. So you need to find one that is not confirmed. So you see the difference on my heist locker here. Those blueprints are not confirmed. They're missing this red dot, right? So, anyways, I really appreciate that somebody that found this blueprint or created this blueprint, decided to just give it away, lets it imprint so everybody can have it, basically, right? And what I'm talking about is this blueprint. It's a thief's trinket or currency with 17 currency chests, okay? This might not be the ultimate best blueprint or whatever, you know, but I think as far as I saw, this should be at least one of the best, right? So it's a blueprint with 17 currency chests, it's trinkets, and you can also like modify it with like chaos spamming and whatnot, because you want to craft those to have a maximum amount of alert level reduction and time before lockdown, so you actually can open like almost every single chest in there, right? And to spice it even more up, we're gonna use a trinket with a 4% chance in heists for regal orbs to drop as exalted orbs. On top of that, all of our gear from the rogues, I'll go over that in a little bit, has chance to double drop currency, for example, and also we're gonna run Vinderi a lot in these blueprints that has also a chance for double drop. So it can technically happen that you open a currency chest, the regal transfers into an exalt, Vinderi says, you know what, take twice the amount of loot and you just drop 2 exalts or even 3 exalts in one single currency chest. In theory, right? So if we take a look at the write-down, we have 10 grand heists by Phader. Phader is a good friend of mine, and he's been running those maps since a week or so, and he's making quite a fortune out of those, right? And today he said, like, you know what, MB, take my trinket, take those 10 blueprints, and check it out yourself, make a small video about it. So I really, really appreciate this one at this part. So the thing is, how much does this map or blueprint actually cost? So the blueprint itself, as I said, you can, if you find somebody that has the original one or a splitted one, you can just permanently split them. So you don't really have an original cost unless you count in the 3 rare beasts that you need for the split, right? But the Phenomenal Plagued Arachnid, which is the split beast, is about 4 exalts per piece, right? So if you say like 10 split beasts, which are these 10 maps basically, or blueprint, I will call them maps all the time, so let's just call them maps. We're talking about big currency. So that's 4 exalts per blueprint, basically. So there was a patch yesterday night or something, at least my time, and now you can actually fossil craft the blueprints. This was actually a bug that it's not been happening before, but they fixed it now, so now you can actually use the fractured fossil to just mirror your own blueprints over and over again. That's why I think the cost of fractured fossil will rise up, and the amount of like the blueprint cost, or at least the split beast cost, will go down a little bit. I still think that the split beast version is better because you're like duplicating, so you can still modify this one, right? If you would use the fractured fossil and you get like early reflect, for example, for my build, it's an arc build, would be like terrible. I would not be able to run those. And you also want to like chaos spam those or alt spam or whatever, to have as much as alert level reduction as possible, so you can open as many chests as possible, right? So that's why I think that the split beast version will still be better, but it also like more expensive. Anyways, this maps here was a total of like 40 exalts in general, right? So that means we need to get 40 exalts out of that. And basically what that means, we have 4 wings, right, per blueprint. So that means that we actually just have to find one single exalt every single wing, and we should be good, right? And the rest, what drops in there, should be profit as well. So let's equip the trinket, let's go to the rogue harbor, and let's take a look at the rogues that I have geared up. So basically, what you would do is just go to the planning room, you know, and assign all of your dudes. And this is the cool thing about these blueprints, right? And I personally think this should not be like it is right now. You can technically just unlock every single room here and pay for the entire cost, the rogue markers, like one single time. You unlock everything, every chest, every escape route, everything, you know? And then this is like unlocked now, and after you've done that part, you now start to split beast and you save up all your coins. You just need the 2,000 coins or something to actually pay your rogues to actually come with you, basically, right? So then you would just assign, we have like Vindiri in like 2 wings, and yeah. So then you would just confirm it, and now you're basically able to run those. So let's take a look at the rogues that I have geared. I basically geared all of them already, which is not really necessary, because you only need actually the ones that you're gonna run in this blueprint. Because if this is actually that profitable as people say, you don't need any more heist runs or contracts or anything. Like, why would you run or waste your time in contracts if you could just run this one over and over again, right? So the main parts of the gear is basically the combination of the brooch, the cloak, and the tool, basically. On the brooch, I have T1 chance to duplicate contained currency, and on the tool we have a chance to not generate alert level when opening chests, and on the cloak we have T1 reduced raising of alert level, which means I can open more chests, right? And all of those have the same gear. All of those have these triple T1. It was like quite some chaos spamming basically, but you don't really need that, cause in the end there is only one stat is important. I don't care if there is increased job speed on it, or if my cars gives me level 5 haste, you know? The only thing you want to have T1 chance to duplicate currency, T1 chance to generate or not generate alert level, and here the 12% reduced alert level. So that would be the cheaper way, right? And yeah, this is what you need on all of your rogues to like get the most out of it. So as I said before, you can technically get like 3 exalted orb from one chest just because of Vindiri and your brooch drop and stuff like that. So I would say for the video, we're gonna run 1 wing together. So we're gonna prepare a grand heist. These are like 2,000 cost, but you're gonna find those statues or whatever that you can now sell again to the rogue dude, so you get your coins back. So you don't even need to buy the coins, right? You just need like 10,000 in the start. It's like probably, I don't know, like 5 chaos or so, even less. And you're good to go, because the rest you're gonna find in there. And we're gonna see in those 10 maps if it's actually that profitable as people say, or maybe not. Like, we're gonna see. If it's like really good and profitable, we're just gonna run a tab of those, although the investment is quite insane, right? So, for the build, or like, as you see, everything is uncovered here. It will always be the same principle. It will always be the same layout, because you're running the same blueprint all over again, right? So that's good on that part. So you want to just see, like, I'm usually skipping the unique chests. I mean, in theory, you know, you could drop a headhunter in there, but like, how high are the odds? And I personally just like to pick up the small chests on the way as well, right? And hey, what is this? See? That's so easy, dude. See? Okay, the first wing already paid off. We found our first exalted orb in the first chest as well. So the rest that we're gonna find in here is just profit, you know? Like, I like this. This is good, you know? And these are the ones that you're gonna get your marks back as well. So let's just hope that we're not gonna crash or anything like that. I mean, can always happen, right? But as long as you don't have the lockdown alert, like, activated, you can just go back in there and still have all your loot, right? That's why I say I like to pick up all these chests alongside the way. I'm not really picking up the unique ones, because the worst thing is you don't want to, like, create the lockdown too early, because this is a trinket blueprint, right? So you could technically find the an exalt trinket on the way, right? So, and we talk about big money right here. It's about, I think, like 10 exalts or so for the 2% one, then it's about 20 exalts or 25 exalts for the 3% one, and the one that I'm currently wearing, the 4% one, is starting on roughly 60 exalts on that part, right? So you always have to think about, if you say, like, is it worth getting one of those trinkets? I mean, I would say it's based on how many blueprints you're gonna run, you know? If you're just like, hey, I wanna run like one of these blueprints every single day, then it's not gonna pay off, right? But if you say, like, you know what, we're just gonna run all day long, 10 hours straight, these blueprints, you just for the amount of exalts that you're gonna find, you're gonna pay off the trinket, and from that point on, it's going to be pure profit anyways, right? So let's speed up here a little bit. We don't really need to kill something. So this is, by the way, the build that I was talking in my previous video, the Transcendent Ascendant Aura Stacker in that regard, right? The character is coming along okay-ish, I would say. It is a very, very expensive build, don't get me wrong. Like, just if you see all the alternate quality gem prices or the cluster jewel prices, the gear itself, like, this build, that's what I said in the start, right? If you have 10 mirrors, you have a decent aura stack, right? But it's not going to be top-notch, you know, even if with 10 mirror investment. So that's like pretty much the most expensive build that you can actually play. But therefore, I got it working. So I don't think I've died in the past 5 levels or so. We are now level 94, soon level 95. I do have Transcendence activated already. So that's why my maximum resistance is only 82 at the moment. I just need more and more aura effect to get it back up to 90%. And the stats POB wise looks insane. So we're gonna have like over 1 million effective life pool against physical damage. Hey, can I please loot this map here? Thank you. Against physical damage, we're immune to chaos damage, and we're gonna mitigate 99% of incoming elemental damage alongside. And I think this is just going to be the new... It's not immortal, right? It's not an immortal build. Immortal means you get no damage. But if you mitigate 99% of incoming damage, you are kind of immortal. I think I can even run into Cyrus Storms without dying. But I need to test this still, right? So at the moment, I'm just leveling up gems, trying to get my purities up to level 23. To get my maximum resistance back up. And the more aura effect you stack, the more... tankiness and the more damage you're gonna do as well, right? So we are in the end part. That's why I did not open the last chest, because it would trigger my alert. So we have 14% chance for alterations to drop as chaos is okay. I would say Val Orb, Orb of Alchemy, Stack Dix. Until we have monster duplicate rogue markers. You know, I'll take the gamble. I take the Stack Dix here. You know, like House of Mirrors is worth a lot. Doctor cards, you know, there's a lot of cards that can actually be potentially good. Well, we're never gonna see anyways, but hey, there is a chance, you know? And if there is a chance, we're gonna go for the gamble, like, this is the gambling spirit, right? So now we triggered the lockdown, so now it's about to freaking get out of here and hope, now you can hope, that you're not gonna disconnect or crash, because if it would die now or get disconnected, this loot that I have here, the Exalted Orb, would be gone. But that doesn't mean that your Grand Heist is gone, it's just this one wing is gone, okay? So it's not like as terrible as people always say. I mean, it sucks, you know, like getting one of those, like, we're talking about 1 Exalt per wing that we are paying for that. And if we crash after lockdown or die, we basically just not, like, lost the 1 Exalt that we paid, plus we're not gonna have any kind of loot either, right? So that would actually suck, but it's not the end of the world. And if it's that profitable as people say, we should be fine even if it would crash now and then, which... Like, for me, it doesn't really happen at all. Like, I crashed, like, 2 times in, like, I would say 300 heists or so. So now we basically secure it. We're gonna move to the Rogue Harbor. And now we're just gonna drop all of the loot into my loot tab here. As I said, this wing definitely paid off. This is the Exalt, the 1 quarter of the split beast, basically, right? And that means this is just my pure profit, right? With the Divines, with the Exalted shards, and just like that. And now there's still 3 more wings for the first blueprint, so I'm just going to run all of those now on stream. And then in a bit, you're gonna see the complete end result that I made out of these 10 blueprints, basically. Then we subtract the 40 Exalted we paid basically for the blueprints, and then we're gonna see how profitable it is, and as well as how long did it actually take. Because if you're doing like farming strategies like that, you always need to know how much chaos per hour do I do, right? So if I farm like 10 hours and I make 3x, that's actually like very bad ratio, right? And this is the thing that we want to find out. If it's like that great, then we're just gonna buy a shit ton of more with the profit that we get, and we're just gonna run those over and over again, because the experience gain is not even that bad in those heists. All right, guys, I would say I'm gonna run those now, and I'll see you in a bit. All right, guys, we're done farming the 10 blueprints, the 40 wings, the 40x investment in blueprints, and yeah, quite mixed feelings, I would say. So, you know what, like, I'll just show you what I've got, right? So this is just the pure currency drops that I had in the map, right? Then we have like div cards, shit tons of maps, no fossils whatsoever, a couple of essences, nothing too special, bunch of scarabs, like shit tons of trinkets and beachhead maps and like all kinds of stuff. So I did already the math, and we have about 3,857 chaos orbs made. minus the 2,400 that we invested. So we had about like 63 exalts or something made in about 3.5 hours. That would technically be about roughly 6 to 7 exalts per hour. So as I said, took like 3.5 hours to run those. It's about 20 minutes per run in that case. So, the thing is, like, I did all the math per hand, so this is like the currency drops multiplied by the single sellouts, like the single pieces, right? This is like maps, I think, here's like scarabs and whatnot. Then we added like all the other stuff. But, you know, it was like, I mean, 7x or 6 or 7x per hour is not bad. But the thing is, that is calculating in all kinds of maps, right? I think I calculated like half a chaos for the white tier maps, then like a chaos or like one, yeah, I think like one chaos for any yellow tier maps. Then we have like 2 chaos for any tier 11 till tier 13, and I calculated like I think 4 chaos per map on this here. So that might be wrong, might be right. I have no idea. Some of those maps will probably sell for more. This is like, yeah, 5 chaos. Then Necropolis probably not that because nobody wants to run those. So there might be plus minus 10% some on that part, right? But the thing is it like so good? Is the trinket actually worth it? So at the moment, this trinket, I think it costs 75 exalts roughly or something. Let me quickly check. There's like 3 tiers, right? So exalted orbs. So there is the 2% one. This is like the cheapest one. That's like one, probably like 8 exalts, maybe 9 exalts, right? Then there's the 3% one going for like 23 exalts, 24 exalts, and the one that I currently have is the 4%, which is currently going for like 70 exalts, right? So how many of those exalted orbs did I actually drop? And the answer is probably, I would say 15. 15, I think, is a solid number for exalted drops pure, because the other 9 exalts were all of like exalted shards, I think. I mean, probably it's like 2 or 3 less. I don't know. I'm not too sure about that. But you drop shit tons of these exalted shards, right? And if you're lucky, you're actually gonna get Vindiri double drop. We had this like 3 times in total, actually, that we opened the chest, dropped an exalted orb. Vindiri said, you know what, take twice as much currency, and we just doubled that exalted drop. But overall, I had like a very bad streak. I had like 4 full blueprints with not a single exalted orbs. On the other hand, I had blueprints with like, I think the max was like one blueprint had like 4 exalted orb drops, so that one paid off for sure. Not everything is paying off though, right? And you have to consider you're only gonna drop the 6 to 7 exalts if you sell everything, right? And I personally, I will never really sell any kind of like low tier. I would probably sell the high tier maps here, 14 plus. The rest I would probably just like ignore that it actually dropped, and I would actually put those off the loot filter as well, because it's still a league specific content. That means it does basically ignore your Atlas completions or favorite maps. I do think so. I'm pretty sure, because I had like a shit ton of like cells map, and that's a map that I hate to run, so I can almost guarantee that it's not, but maybe. So then we have 1,423 chisels. And the chisel prices, and that's the reason why the chisel price is so low. You get like 8 chaos for 140 chisels, which is insane, because I ran just 10 maps and I got 1,400 chisels, right? Which is kind of ridiculous at that part. Then a bunch of ancient orbs, they will always sell. Then we had actually 92 stacked decks. But yeah, me as a gambler, I just couldn't wait opening them, and we actually just got shit out of that. But I calculated the 92 stacked decks with like 0.8 chaos per piece or something. So we do have more diff cards in here just because I opened them, so that's not included either. For the trinkets, it's questionable because there is some of those that were like good. So it's an item level 83 plus in that regard blueprint, so you can drop the exalted trinket. I had one of those dropped yesterday, the 3% one, and I sold it for 25x. And here are some that might sell with like a chance to do double currency or something. They might sell for like 5, 10 chaos, maybe 25 chaos. These are not going to calculate it in. And the ones that are complete garbage, right? You could still like trying to vendor 5 of those and get 1 random back, and maybe just get the one with the exalted orb, right? So we're just gonna, these are like 10 of these that I not care about at all, right? And here we have 1 more shit and 1 more crap as well. So I'm not sure, like, if you get the Holy Grail and if you find one of these Exalt, it's either like 10 Exalts, 20 Exalts, or even 70 Exalts if you're lucky and find the 4% one. And overall, I would say it's more like realistically said about maybe 4 Exalts per hour, because as I said, I would not sell all of that shit, you know, like, I don't know, it takes like quite a while. Sorry. And you still have to consider these 3.5 hours, these like 7x per hour, is if you're permanently farming, you know, that contains no trading. And obviously, we actually only made 24x at this part, right? Because I need to like convert all the chisels into chaos, the GZP, the alch, the whatever, you know, and trading all of that will take me another like probably minimum an hour if I undercut everybody else, you know. So you have to like kind of calculate this 1 hour extra just for trading, and that lowers your X per hour as well, right? So always keep that in mind. So would I do it again? I would say yes, because at the moment, like, I paid 240 chaos, the split beast is now 210, I think, chaos, and the fractured fossil is 170, I think. So both of those versions are cheaper than what I paid, but the outcome will probably be the same, right? So we're gonna have more profit in the end. So I would say maybe I'm just gonna do the same with like 10 times with fractured fossils or something like that, and it should actually bring a little bit more profit per hour. And I cannot really say, as I said, 10 maps or 10 blueprints is not really the best sample size, don't get me wrong, but it's still a lot of investment to run those, right? So it definitely profit. If you enjoy running those, I would definitely do it again with like another 10 or 20 maybe. Maybe we do another 25 with fractured fossils or something like that, and just have then a comparison size of like 35 maps instead of only 10. But overall, there were actually not like really sick drops, you know, like some winged scarabs, they're selling for like 15 chaos, 20 chaos. These sell for like 15 a piece, so that's like half an exalt, that's like half an exalt. So being the exalt price so low makes up for actually a quite amount of exalt orb procs as well. So, and if you're wondering, is it worth, should you invest 70x in getting a 4% trinket? Yes and no. Yes, if you say like, this is the league content that I want to do for a week straight, and it will pay off, you know. You're gonna convert the regals into exalt. That will happen. You just don't know how often. I cannot tell you how many of these exalt drops actually drop because it was an exalt drop, or how many did get converted out of the trinket. And on the other hand, like, if you just buy it and be like, hey, I'm gonna run like 2 or 3 blueprints a day just when I'm up to, then it's probably not worth it. You just need to like grind those to make it profitable, right? It's the same like full delirium maps farming. Should you buy a headhunter or not, right? It's 60 or 70 exalts investment. It will speed you up, right? But on the other hand, if you're not farming a lot of those maps just for fun, having a headhunter, it's not worth investing into it. And I can definitely tell you that a headhunter is not really necessary at all when running the heists, basically, right? But yeah, I would say I'm just going to like put all of that shit into my normal tab, and then I have like 2,000 chisel, 3,000 chaos, and I just gonna buy a bunch of these fractured fossils, and I guess I'll just do it again, I would say. Alright guys, thanks for tuning in, thanks for watching, and see you in the next video.